Welcome to my channel where Abe gets a reality check from her parents. Our next post is from a user. This happened about 10 years ago. I was 20 weeks pregnant with twins and I had a really difficult pregnancy. At 28 weeks, I started having contractions and I ended up giving birth to my daughter early via emergency C-section. She weighed only 3 pounds, 14 ounces. My son was 4 pounds. Thankfully, they both ended up being completely healthy, but they did have to stay in the NICU for almost a month. My parents came to visit when the babies were 2 weeks old. They seemed overwhelmed by the sight of all the machines that were hooked up to my daughter. Even though they weren't even in the NICU, my mom said something along the lines of, "Who would have thought your daughter would be so high maintenance?" Before I could respond, my dad said, "Well, now we know why she won't be coming home with us." What did that even mean? I asked. "You can't handle this, honey," my mom said. "You need to get your head screwed on straight if you were going to be a good mother." My dad agreed. "Yeah, you're lucky we even agreed to watch her at all. Don't you dare ask us to cancel our plans again. We've had these Elton John tickets for months." My mother yelled, her voice echoing through my hospital room. I sat there stunned, clutching my phone with trembling hands. It was Christmas Eve. All I wanted was for my family to be there, to be a support system while I recovered from major surgery and the birth of my babies. But instead, they had come to berate me. I called my sister crying, and she ended up staying with me for 2 weeks while my parents went home. They didn't stick around for their granddaughter to come home either. When my daughter was finally released from the NICU, my sister took the baby while I held my son. I couldn't even look at my parents. As they left, my dad looked back at me and said, "We told you we'd help, but you wouldn't let us take your daughter. If you had just let us raise her, none of this would have happened." "What do you mean?" I asked. He just shook his head and walked away. They showed up again at Christmas dinner with both of my babies. Their faces lit up when they saw their first grandbabies, but it quickly faded when they heard the sound my daughter's breathing aid made. "Oh no, not this again," my mom whined. "Can't we just enjoy our meal in peace?" My sister took my daughter and my husband took my son. Each of them gave me a look of disappointment. I think they were expecting me to be super thin because I was breastfeeding, but I wasn't. I gained 60 pounds during my twin pregnancy, and the weight wasn't coming off fast enough for them. After my mom finished her third plate of food, she loudly announced she was going to go on a diet starting tomorrow. I was breastfeeding, so I stood up and went out to the balcony to pump. My sister followed me out and asked, "Are you sure you're doing everything right? You're not fat, but you're definitely not losing weight as fast as you should." After I pumped, I went back inside and sat down. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Well, the baby obviously isn't the one nursing, is it?" my aunt said with a laugh. "She's right, sis," my mom chimed in. "If you want to lose weight, you need to stop feeding your babies." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. At that point, I just got up and left. The rest of the day was spent crying. Now, before anyone says it, yes, I know that my babies were premature and it's harder to lose weight after a preemie birth. I ended up losing all of the baby weight and then some within the first year. Our next post is from another user. My cousin, who has an amazing and supportive wife, recently had a baby. Her husband, my cousin's brother, is currently in Afghanistan. So my cousin's mom offered to watch the baby so she could recover from the birth at home. Well, the mom apparently didn't realize how much work a newborn is and complained constantly to my cousin over the phone about how much work the baby is and how she needed a break. The mom called my cousin every day at exactly 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. on the dot, saying those were her designated break times. Then on the third day, she called my cousin at 12:15 and ranted at her because she wasn't there to take the baby yet. My cousin said she was literally just getting out of bed and needed a few minutes to shower, change and make food for herself before taking the baby. The grandmother told her that she was a bad mother for not being ready and hung up on her. Well, my cousin called her back and told her that she was done. She wasn't putting up with the constant criticism and that she was coming over. When my cousin arrived, her mom was watching TV with the baby asleep in a bassinet next to her. My cousin snatched the baby out of the bassinet without asking, and the grandma screamed at her, "How dare you take my baby like that? What if I dropped her?" My cousin said, "You already had your break. I'm taking the baby now." She then called her brother crying and told him that she couldn't deal with him being gone and her mother being so incredibly selfish. He told her that he was proud of her for standing up to her mom and said she should have done it sooner. They talked for a bit, and then he had to get off the call to tend to patients himself. He's a medic in the Army, so he's currently stationed at a medical center stateside. When he went to go, he asked her to please send him pictures of the two of them. My cousin responded that it would be better if he asked his mom since she was the one with the camera. She also mentioned that her mom hadn't even taken any pictures of the baby when she first arrived. That got her mom pretty riled up. And she kept yelling, "What did you say? Say it again. Say it again, you little B word." My cousin told her, "Don't talk to me like that or I will leave and you won't see the baby for a week." She tried calling her brother back, but he was tending to an emergency and couldn't answer. The grandma huffed off to her bedroom, leaving my cousin alone with the baby. My cousin took out her phone and sent her husband a picture of the two of them holding the baby. Her mom never said a word to her again and treated her like gold, even buying her a brand new camera. Apparently, she felt bad about trying to steal the baby. Who knows? But my cousin doesn't care because she finally had her mother-in-law on her side, and that is my channel. And if you like this content, check out my other content where I publish the same episodes. Also hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.